So if anyone is lying to you, it's easy. It's not, right? I mean, that's why some of us are always afraid of like getting into the field. But then again, I always say that if a guy can do it, we have the same brains, then even you as a lady, you can do it, right? It just means you need commitment and you have to put in the work, and you will have the skills that you need, right? And people are like, aside the fact that tech is not easy, there's good money in tech, right? That's one of the reasons why everyone wants to be a software engineer. Like with your skills, and one day you're lucky enough to get in an international company and you're earning good money, you're taking care of your family, you have financial freedom. That's like the end goal, right? Like that's what success looks like. But before you get to that point, you have to do a lot of work, right? But I just wanted to fast up by telling you the reality. And tech is not easy, but it's something doable. There's nothing that we cannot do. As long as we put our minds and commitment to a particular thing, then you can easily scale and do well with it, right? Another thing is, tech is changing, right? So you might have done HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which is you have the foundation now. But as you interact more with people, or as you familiarize yourself with the internet and what the world is talking about, you realize that there are so many different fields, right? So I want you not to box yourself to thinking, oh, I can only build websites, right? Trust me, many years from now, if you meet, some of you will say that you're doing data science, some of you will say you're doing machine learning, and you're like, what? If I tell you machine learning, you're like, what is she talking about, right? So the good thing is now you have the foundation, right? But now as you interact more with people, as you stay updated with the news, you realize that there are so many things you can do. Like she said, we have product managers meeting here. So tech is not only about software engineering. And that is why I'm not telling you that I'm a software engineer. I graduated computer science, and of course you have expected I'm a software engineer, right? But along the way in my journey, while I was in school, we had communities, right? Communities where people come to learn tech. One of them is Google. So Google, the company, it took me time to realize that, besides the fact that we are Googling and searching for things on the internet, like it's a company, right? And they have initiatives where they want the community to learn about Google technologies, and how they can apply them in their daily life. So we have such a community in the University of Nairobi. I was part of it. I didn't know things. I was just mostly floating in my second year of the university. But all through, right, it came to a point where I started understanding, right? And I also became a leader of the community. And I found that, I actually enjoyed, bringing people together. We're learning a particular thing, organizing events and things like that. And I thought that, okay, maybe it's just a thing that you have as a person, right? And then I realized that, we have people in Google that actually paid to do that, like you're paid to speak to people, speak to communities, talk about different products. And that's when I realized that, there's something called community management under the organization. I'm like, okay. I seem to have more strength towards that. And that's where my life has taken that path ever since, right? I still think, thankfully I still have the foundations of programming, but I saw what my strength is and I went for it, and there's an opportunity there and I took it, right? So it's very much okay. Along the journey, you find different things. And one thing I like to tell people is that find out what you're really passionate about, right? What do you really enjoy doing? I like the fact that one of you mentioned your art, so I think it's you, right? She mentioned art, and now she wants to see how can I what's the intersection between art and tech, right? So you don't always have to go through the software engineering route, right? There are so many different, some of you may realize that I like visualizing data, and that is why data analysts exist, right? Some of you just like coding, that's why we have software engineers, right? And which, all of these things are acceptable. We just find out what are you really interested in, or what are your strengths, right? And before you actually get to that point, then you need to do a lot of research, right? You need to put in the work, find out what are people really talking about, what is data analysis. Now, if you don't know what data analysis is now, you go home and find out who is a data analyst, who is a product manager, who is a cyber security person, right? Who is a community manager, who is what other roles do we have? Who is a product designer? So you guys build websites, but then we have people whose primary job is actually to design. So there are different areas in tech that you can actually take advantage of. And if you're lucky and you know what your passion is, maybe like I'm imagining if you're someone that likes art and things like that, you'll be interested in creating, nice interfaces. When you open the app, somebody designed that, right? And in my own experience, actually, that's part of art. And you're like, okay, I think I like this more, so maybe I may know how to code, but I want to learn more how to design. So I can design interfaces that software engineers will end up building, right? So all I'm really trying to say is that you have to put in the work. Our madam said that you determine, right? So that you go and find out what can I do, right? Some of you